What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to Meditations. Appreciate y'all for coming by. Like this video if you will, subscribe to the page, and swat that bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my patrons. Links in the description below. May you have many wives, those who support the meditations. So, there's this buddy of mine. All right. He's been out of the game for probably 5 or 6 years. I remember there was this episode in his life where he attained a bunch of money, $150,000 or something like that. And he was living with this girl. And he quit his job. And I knew that was a bad idea. He asked me, Iceman, what should I do with this money? At the time, I was like, I don't know. Just save it, is what I said. But that's not enough. Most people, they wouldn't heed that advice. You know, saving it is just too boring. And I didn't have much substance behind that. I was like, just save it. Now I would have given him different advice. And I've spoken on some of that stuff on this channel. I would have at least said, hey, put it in a high yield savings account. Buy some stocks. I did tell him at the time to get some gold. And I was buying gold. And of course, since then, it's gone up about 50%. So I guess that wouldn't have been that bad. Shit, that would have been about $300,000 right now. But this video isn't about that episode. So the money ran out. He quit his job. 5, 6 months later, the money was gone. And you know what left after the money? The girl. So, ever since then, this guy hasn't eaten a single piece of ass. Yeah, as fucked up as that sounds. And it's been 5 or 6 years at this point. I don't really want to talk shit about him. But I'm pretty sure he's been managing the way most guys manage. They watch the things on their screen and they beat off. You know what I mean? Kill their motivation, kill their drive, kill their ambition, destroy their dopamine production. Screws everything up. But that's the closest he's gotten to getting any pussy. In the last long while. And as much as it pains me to say it, guys like he and I, we ain't getting any younger. Yeah. That timer's running out. There's only so much you can do as you age to go out there and get pussy. So you got to get it when you're young. And that's what this video is all about. I mean, you can still do it when you're like in your 40s. And to a lesser extent when you're in your 50s. All right. But you got to strike when the iron's hot. I tell him, say, hey, why don't you do what I did? Through text. We talk through text a lot. He lives about an hour away now. And he's one of those guys that I kind of like to keep at a distance. Do you guys have anybody like that in your life? I mean, I wish I could see him a bit more, but he's just a little erratic. And I don't... there's just something about it where, for now, the distance is acceptable. But I'll tell him, hey, why don't you do what I did? Why don't you go out there and pursue, man? He was like, why don't you come over here and help me? I was like, okay, I will. Part of me doesn't really want to. I don't really want to start watering at the mouth again. Like how I was before I found my wives. Remember I told you guys that story? Check out my previous videos. That's one of the ways to do it. You gotta quit watching the stuff on the screen. You gotta never please yourself. And you gotta go out there and pursue. It's like fishing. You gotta keep them lines out. Yeah, most of them you're not gonna catch anything on. But eventually you're gonna catch something. All right, that's just how it works. So you gotta not give up. Just kind of the topic of this video, isn't it? Now that I think of it. A lot of men are giving up, and nobody gives a shit, obviously. Which is another big principle and fundamental that I think young guys especially need to grasp. Nobody gives a shit about you. This is important. It's ingrained in your nature. You are disposable. All right? That's just how the male is by nature. You know, females are the limiting factor in human reproduction. So by nature, they have been selected to be protected at all costs. You know, the old sayings, keep the women and the children safe. Let them go on the lifeboats first, this and that. You know, that's just how it works. I mean, guys are disposable. You can produce, as a man, you can inseminate like 1,000 women in a couple weeks, you know? And begin a civilization all on your own, as long as you have a bunch of women. However, if you only had one woman, it'd take like a millennia to make a civilization. You had just one woman and a bunch of guys. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they're the limiting factor in human reproduction. So all those little subtle nuances that come with that, they're all precursors and derivatives as to why nobody gives a shit about men. Yeah, that's just how it is, man. I'm sorry, you gotta accept it. It sucked, I know. I had to accept it too. Back when I was a little kid or something. I don't remember. I was a teenager. And that's the problem, is our mothers have kind of distilled in us a different reality. And I know I've touched on this in previous videos, but a bunny isn't going to teach a wolf how to catch a bunny. All right? Now, I'm not saying mothers are conscious of this, but I think it's in their subconscious, where they don't really teach a wolf how to hunt, if you know what I mean. And they do this with their sons. Yeah, don't listen to what the bunny tells you, but pay attention to what the bunny does. You know? Look at the men that she's selected. And perhaps then you can learn something or another. But don't listen to what that bunny's telling you. And that's one of the biggest things here, is I think that some men think that eventually a woman will come to them. And I think that I actually thought this when I was a little kid. Because that's how we work. We're like, oh, wow, look at a beautiful woman. Look at how she acts. Look at her energy. Look at her beautiful eyes, her beautiful hair, her beautiful skin. Surely she will be approached by men. We don't realize it, but the dynamics are different. That's not how it works with guys. You know? If I were to just get my skin all nice, make my teeth all nice and bright and white, get my hair perfect, dress in accordance with whatever the hell women like these days, get a broccoli haircut or some shit, wear sweatpants, baggy sweatpants, it ain't gonna matter where shit. You know, women don't approach men, they don't have to. You're invisible. It's just crazy. I mean, this buddy of mine, I don't think he's approached a single female human since his departure of his last one. These guys are afraid of it. This guy's a tough guy. All right? But there's that thing that's in the way. It's scary, isn't it? Rejection. They say it's by nature that men are so afraid of it. Like somewhere deep in our subconscious and our innate being, there were days when if a man were to approach a young woman out and about, he'd get like ripped apart by the tribe or something because it wasn't his place in the hierarchy to do such. So we have this like subconscious fear of doing it, like we're going to get killed or something. And I think that's where that comes from. But obviously, that's not really how shit works today, especially if you're in Western civilization, right? I mean, yeah, they might call you a creep or something and you're going to look like a dumbass. But that's basically it, as long as you don't accidentally take it too far and they call the cops on you or whatever. But you're not going to get like ripped to shreds by a bunch of dudes. Your skull's not going to get beat in with a club or something, you know? Guys are terrified of rejection. There's this other buddy of mine. I remember I mentioned him in a previous video. His human female, who he was with for a long time, he had 3 kids with her, one of which even adopted. Just fucking crazy. This broad would go as far as to do all that and then leave the guy. I mean, I don't know the situation, okay? Maybe he deserved it. I don't know. But I mean, I only get really one end of the story, you know? I mean, I knew the chick. In fact, I introduced him. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. In fact, I know I shouldn't have done that looking back, but how the fuck was I supposed to know? I hate letting a good pussy go to waste. But that wasn't a good one, but I guess I just, in those days, hated letting the pussy go to waste. Ain't my problem, though. I mean, he could have handled it differently, I'm sure. Could have changed the trajectory of the relationship. And how they probably could have still been together. Point being is, the broad left him about 2 years ago, and I'm quite sure of it, hasn't touched a lady since. Because he's scared. And nobody cares. Yeah, that's just how it is, man. They're not going to come to you. And those bots or whatever on the dating websites, no. It's all just a bunch of bullshit. Get off those damn things. The dating sites come with 3 things. Yeah. Some of you guys have heard this from me on this channel. What are they filled with, Iceman? Well, they're filled with hoes, playas, and STDs. You don't want any of those, do you? Do you want a bacteria-ridden disease eating off your dick? If the answer is no, then get off the dating websites. A recent statistic that I read claimed that about 40% of young eligible women do not even utilize dating apps. So they're out there. Yeah, they're the minority, but not by much. And I think as time progresses, less and less are going to use them. People are waking up to this shit. Just a bunch of fake things on there. It's never what you expect. I remember meeting a couple broads on those things. One of them was all right. She was fucking crazy. She was hot. Looked like a little anime chick. Damn, that was trouble, though. I shouldn't have done that. Thank God it's over. And I feel bad for that bastard that she hopped on next. Whew. They even have a kid together. I wonder how that's going. I don't know if they're still together. But goddamn did I dodge a bullet with that one. But there were a couple others that I met that weren't what they seemed. These broads just never look the way they do in their profile photos and so forth. And it's just a bunch of hogwash on those things. And the only way to do it is to meet them in person. Yeah. My message to those who are alone and nobody cares, and I know there are many of you, you are legion, is this. Know that you can break free of your chains, of your bondage. Know that the only one stopping you from doing such is yourself. Is the fear within. Yeah. The fear prevents you from doing everything. And the good thing is, most of them are in fear. Most of them are. Iceman, but they only want the 3 6s. I'm like, what you talking about, man? You're like, 6 foot tall, 6-figure income, and a 6-inch dick. And my thoughts are, oh, that's not very big, but okay. But yeah, nonetheless, these guys are living in a defeatist mentality. That's how all of them are. Now, should I even give you guys this advice? Probably not. I mean, I'm looking to get a couple more wives. The more motherfuckers that I expose this information to, well, the less wives are going to be available for me. But you know what? Most of y'all aren't going to listen anyway. An old ice boy's time is short. So what the fuck? Here it is, for free. But if you want to support the meditations, become a patron. Links in the description below. Let me end this video right there. That is my message for the ones who are in bondage. Everyone else is in bondage. The numbers are in your favor more than ever before. Because they're all fucking scared. Alright? And they all have been deceived into thinking there's no women out there. They're all just a bunch of hoes on these apps. And to an extent, that's true. Well, like I said, man, 40% of them, they're not even on that shit. So, come on. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace be with you.